Okay, let me have your attention, please. We're getting ready to get underway here.
It was extremely exciting. We're part of the Super Bowl, a game that people anticipate all year. We're part of the halftime show with Madonna.
Ladies, let's get to it.
Madonna is a symbol of beauty. Madonna is a symbol of joy. She's a symbol of energy and talent, and you know, this show represents that, and this show projects that in the images that we've been producing.
With many meetings, we figured that the best opportunity would be to do projections onto the field. Madonna liked the idea a lot, and the Super Bowl backed it, and everyone was really happy with that. So we went from there and we started designing different concepts of content, so different looks for different songs.
So for me, it was more about doing some research, looking at her previous shows. Always interesting to see what was done for that song specifically, and then try something different.
When this is approved, we go into the production phase. The production phase is when the direction is extremely clear, so we're ready to take the animation forward. For example, do we do a shoot? What elements do we do to create this animation? So behind the production of these famous songs, we had a great team. We had a team of designers like Alia, Tariq, among others, animators, Adam, Katie, Aude, our content manager, François Desroger, multimedia director, Pam, and Saki as the overall creative director.
So I guess the first big challenge was to figure out a way to make this Super Bowl and extravaganza to really stun the audience and to make something very different. There was a great team on board, so there was Bruce Rogers that designed the whole stage, Al Gordon that designed the lighting, there was Ricky from Touchdown Entertainment, Jean-François Bouchard at Cirque du Soleil, Michel Laprise was the co-director with Jamie King on the project, Lawrence from the Super Bowl, and a whole team of very talented people. It was really inspiring to work so closely with Madonna. She's such a passionate artist, and she gets involved in all the little details of her show. I think she's the most multidisciplinary artist I've ever worked with. As we're conceptualizing the show, we had to think of what's happening on the field projection, and we had to think about what's happening on the LED floor of the stage, as well as the LED ribbons that wrap the whole stadium. So it's really a matter of thinking in an integral way, and then working very closely with Al Gordon for the lighting, because all these visual elements kind of synchronize together.
So one of the essential tools in the Moment Factory's process during the production and integration, actually during the conception too, it's the maquette. The maquette is a scaled model of this real stage, and then we had this projection surface that it was the fabric used for the projection was deployed before the show so we could project. We had 32 HD projectors that were stacked in groups of 4 so we could get the necessary brightness for the camera. So we have our LED stage, is a stage that is 125 feet. This is brought up by carts that were set up by volunteers at the halftime that we had 7 minutes to set up, so the team did a great work. Set designer Bruce Rogers built that specifically for that. Then we had 12 minutes of the show, 5 songs in those 12 minutes, 7 minutes to dismantle. So there's a lot of adrenaline involved from all the team.
So we've been projecting everything that we've done on this maquette to visualize what it's going to look like, and filming it as much as we can to see how the cameras are going to capture it and to see if the effect is actually working.
Oh, the stage is 3D. Oh, and maybe this is really there.
Can we see a picture of the other one?
Yeah, and there's also a big group on the music.
And what's going to be interesting, since we're more doing the show for TV than for the people who are going to be watching it live, we're going to be making a lot of trompe-l'œil effects. So we're going to fake 3D with that projection on the field. The TV is most of the time going to be focused on Madonna. So we have to think about this variety of camera angles. We're not going to always have this beautiful wide shot for our trompe-l'œil effects and our big eye candy moments. So we have a workflow in which we create 3D elements and we film them from a certain perspective in our 3D software, and then bring them in our 2D software and deform them so that when we film them from the same perspective, we see what we would see in 3D.
We also wanted to bring it to a new place, a fresh place, a place that would be also appropriate for the Super Bowl. So I think that really presented an interesting challenge to us, the fact that the audience is so wide and the language, the design language has to be broad enough to really appeal to such a big audience.
A lot of it had to be sound driven because Madonna is very meticulous in how she likes, you know, things to hit the beat when it should hit the beat. So the obvious choice was to have the sound drive the color and the lighting. It saved us a lot of time, but it also made it look 10 times better because it was very precise.
You want to be able to see the scene, have a lot of movement, and rapidly kind of get out of it into the next scene. So it's very punchy. There's a lot of changes, a lot of variety. But the trouble with this part is that you don't want to have so much variety that you can't follow anymore. You want to be able to make sense and to be able to have like a sense of continuity, not just kind of like rush from one look to the next.
So then, when this process is finished, we have our famous integration, which is the most challenging moment of the process, but it's the most amazing one at the same time. Superbowl! This is when we go on site and we see the set and the space for the first time. We were set on a production office on a trailer. There was a great vibe. I mean, everyone was happy to be there. We were pushing our limits a bit, but in a good way. We just jumped from trailer to trailer, going to Hamish Hamilton from the camera team, sitting down, reviewing the maquette. Okay, do we put the camera here? Do we put it there? No, here she's changing, so we need a transition and focus on the content. It's little stuff which makes a difference in the show.
A few days before the show, we had to let go. It was all in the hands of Jason Rudolph, which was the video programmer, and it really came together in an amazing way.
So finally we're there, we're on the field, sharing this moment with the whole people in the audience and the people in their houses and their families and friends, and people really think that we projected on the field. So it was great to see that live.
People's reaction was amazing. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now actually just thinking about it, how people were inspired, people were so impressed. It's also one of the first shows that I've done where everybody I know saw it.
It's one of the most watched shows in American history. 111 million people were watching that show.
Many people are tweeting and Facebooking and everything at the same time. There was a social media boom actually during the Super Bowl time.
I'm definitely a fan of Madonna. I think any creative person in a way should be a fan of Madonna just because of the boundaries that she's pushed as a female artist, as an artist in general. She's really laid the way in so many directions for us, and it was an honor to be able to work on this project for her.